Hey guys, welcome to Bloggers Rated. Welcome to another video, and today is time to discuss, I think, something that is really important. I've been waiting to see how the midfield of Barcelona is being setting up so far. I wanted to wait, see who is being at their best level. I wanted to examine the likes of Rakitic, Vidal, Busquets. Unfortunately, I don't have enough minutes from Arturo Vidal and Ivan Rakitic to determine the situation, but based on last season and based on what I've been able to see from Busquets so far this season, I have to determine that Barcelona need another signing in midfield. We need a profile of player that right now that would be Arturo Vidal, which is the box to box, very intense, really good defensively, that can also, go forward and generate some goals from the second line. And we need that player. We need a player that's going to be able to protect both Artur and Frenkie de Jong at the same time. Because the thing is, Frenkie de Jong playing the pivot position is where he's more comfortable moving the ball around for Barcelona. We've seen it that he seems to be more comfortable. He drops in there and gets the ball all the time, and it's able to spring our connection from midfield to attack together with Arthur, and I think that's where both of them are best suited. What is the problem then? The problem is that when you play the likes of Rakitic, you don't get enough protection. When you put Busquets in the pivot position, you're not getting the best out of Frenkie de Jong. And Arturo Vidal, it's a player that I believe if he was to play as the second interior together with Arthur and Frenkie de Jong, that would be great, because he will be able to protect the likes of Frenkie de Jong and Arthur defensively wise. Also contributing for the likes of Messi not pressing, because we don't ask Messi to press, and it's logical that we don't ask Messi to press. But if we want to get back the high press, we need players that are going to be able to perform this for us. And due to that reason, I believe that the likes of N'Golo Kanté is the most important needed player right now for Barcelona. Why would you say that? Because Arturo Vidal is 31, 32. He's already of age. I don't think that he's going to be able to last what we need, and that is 4 to 5 more seasons. I believe Arturo Vidal will be departing Barcelona between January and next summer. And even if he was to depart, Arturo Vidal is a player that depends a lot on their physical. The same with Kanté. Players that depend a lot on their physical, we have by experience know that once they hit 30, 31, 32, they start declining physically, and that is perfectly normal. But therefore, we need someone that's going to be able to take that mantle from Arturo Vidal and at least give us 4 to 5 years of really quality, intense pressing from a player. And that's what I believe Kanté, it's imperial for us. Now, you must be saying, this guy complains all the time that we have a lot of centre midfielders and he wants to bring another one? Yeah, I do. But I want to do it at the expense of getting rid of some players that, where I see it, are not needed anymore. The likes of Rakitic, the likes of Arturo Vidal. If we're going to do this, then Arturo Vidal has to leave, Rakitic has to leave. I would keep Busquets. Because he can still give us really good minutes. It's just that with the likes of Busquets having the age that he has, he needs to decreasing his minutes a lot. The same thing with Suarez, the same thing with even Messi, Piqué. Players like this need to start decreasing their amount of minutes drastically. And I believe that having a starting midfield of Frenkie de Jong, Kanté, and Artur would be absolutely fantastic. That would be a very balanced midfield in my opinion. And then whenever you have games where we're going to have a lot of the possession, where the other team is going to be not very good defensively, then you can perfectly slot in Busquets, Artur, and De Jong, and they will be able to control that midfield perfectly fine. But in games where their midfielders are very physical and you need battles, especially in the Champions League where you need maximum level of intensity, then that's why you need players like Kanté to be able to give us something that Busquets is just not able to give us anymore, which is that defensive power solidity that Busquets is still good mentally, just that physically he's fallen off a cliff. And until I see a better Busquets physically, it's just like he's never depended on his physical, but this has been ridiculous. Like he's been very slow to get to the ball. It's something that it seems like age has caught up to him, and we need to look for a forward planning player that is going to be able to deliver us at least until Messi retires, solidity going forward. Then we can like start rejuvenating the forward line and have all the 11 players pressing, and then a player like Kanté might not be as needed. Also counting that you have the likes of Riqui Puig, who I'm counting that's why I want a player like this, like not that much of a young player, not like an Ndombele, Tolisso, players like this, that they would also suit what we need. It's just that we have the likes of Riqui Puig, and he's a player that I have a lot of trust in. So if we can give Frenkie de Jong a couple years to develop defensively for the team to work perfectly as a unit, then slotting Riqui Puig into that first team should be a lot easier, and the transition should be a lot better in my opinion. Then you have the likes of Frenkie de Jong, Riqui Puig and Artur, and that would be a fantastic center midfield for Barcelona in my opinion. Where does it fall right now? Well, the midfield would stay something like Artur, Frenkie de Jong, and Kanté as starters. Then you have backups of Aleñá, Riqui Puig, and Sergio Busquets. That's what I think. It should be perfect. But then you must be asking, what about Sergio Roberto? Sergio Roberto is one of my favorite players in the Barcelona squad. Like, I just really like Sergio Roberto. I think he's a really good player. It's just that this is a season where it's going to be make it or break it for Sergio Roberto. If he doesn't start giving me reasons to keep in the midfield, to like start giving me preference to believe that he can be a midfielder for Barcelona, then I'm sorry, but before the players for me comes the club. And if we don't need Sergio Roberto and he's going to be a problem to give minutes to the youngsters, then I'm sorry Sergio Roberto, but you need to go. Same thing with Rakitic, same thing as Arturo Vidal. Because as a right back, I think Semedo is better, and even if we let go of Semedo, I think that giving the likes of Wague, and especially I think signing the likes of Bellerin and Youssef Attal, who I think are both very prodigious right backs, I think that would be a better choice if Semedo leaves. If we keep Semedo, Sergio Roberto is not needed because he's not going to be happy with just playing 20% of the minutes of the season. And in midfield, he wouldn't get a chance because you would have Busquets, you would have Aleñá, you would have Riqui Puig, and why would you say let's keep Sergio Roberto and let's go of Busquets? Well, one, that's not going to happen. We're not going to make a total turnover of the squad like that, and I think Busquets can still give us minutes that Sergio Roberto is not going to be able to give us. He's not the profile player that Busquets is. And again, to play like 20% of the minutes as a CDM, it's not really it's not what we need. And if it's not what we need, then I'm sorry, but Sergio Roberto needs to go. Like Rakitic, Arturo Vidal, all these players need to make space for Aleñá and Riqui Puig to be able to settle themselves in the first team. Aleñá might not ever become a undisputable starter in this team, but he's a player that can definitely give us good minutes. I want to stop having young players from Barcelona, from our La Masia Academy, that I know are good enough to succeed, and we start like making them fail, like Deulofeu, Sergi Samper, Keita Valdé, Adama Traore, Bellerin that we let go, Grimaldo, players that I know are perfectly capable of playing for us. I want to stop happening because everyone is taking advantage of us doing bad things with our youngsters, and it shouldn't be the case. That's why I think that Kanté, with his age, it would be good because he's not stopping anyone from progressing, from getting minutes. He's a player that's aging as well, but that is aging relatively good in the sense that he's going to give time for the team to adapt to the new philosophy, to be able to press, to recover the press, to recover the intensity that can cover for the likes of Frenkie de Jong, for Arthur, for the defensive work that they're not going to do. It's something that we saw last season where things were working with Chelsea. He was covering Jorginho, he was covering at sometimes Barkley, Loftus-Cheek, players, Kovacic. So he's going to be able to give us that in abundance, and I think that would be great if he was able to do that for us. Because imagine someone that is doing all the defensive work, and we can leave all the creation for the likes of Arthur and Frenkie de Jong. there's no team that's gonna take the ball away from us anymore. And if they do, you have a player with like 1,000 lungs running at you and intercepting the ball at you. So that is absolutely great, and that's exactly what we need. If we are in a position where we need to be a little bit more counterattacking, that is perfectly fine. We saw how that was with Kante, where he was like doing the most interceptions and springing attacks for Hazard. We could do that, and he will deliver balls to Messi, which is even more dangerous. So these are all the benefits of bringing a player like this. It would be a massive overhaul, and I would only like the likes of Kante coming in if we can let go of these players. If we cannot, then let go of Rakitic and Arturo Vidal, and let's hope that Busquets can offer his best level with Sergio Roberto able to cover him at the CDM position, and that could work. It's just that that would mean that Busquets needs to be at his best level. I'm just not confident that's gonna be able to happen. Now, the second part discussing this signing is how much would he cost? Well, he's 28 right now. He turned 28 in March, so he's a player that's gonna finish the season with 29 years old. Chelsea pay around 30 million for him, and I believe that if we are able to get him for under 60 million euros, that would be great. Like, Chelsea are a club that are gonna need signings, are gonna need like very potent signings, and if they don't finish in the top 4, having Kante not playing Champions League football, it could be a concern for him. Like, he might want to win the Champions League before he retires, and like, he's in his best years of his career. So us having the ability of signing a player like that, if we can sign him, let's go ahead and try to do everything, because I believe that would solve all our problems. With Messi protected by Kante as well, with runners like Dembele, like Griezmann, like Ansu Fati, players are going to give you maximum intensity and maximum level of speed. Especially, it's going to be a threat, and we're going to be a team that's going to have all the tools needed to succeed at the maximum level. Another player that would also suit this characteristic is Alan for Napoli. It's just that, if you don't have like a very good, like, if you're not very well known in football, and I'm not saying that Alan is not known, right? I think he's absolutely fantastic. He was probably the best player from Serie A last season, but it's not Kante, it's not Arturo Vidal, it's not a Busquets, it's not a player that is that worldly known just because he's at Napoli. But he would be another option that if we could get him for under 50 million euros, again, he would be a fantastic option for us. So we're all said and done. Leave me all your opinions in the comment section below. What do you think about Kante? Do you think that he's a necessity? Do you think that we have all the things that we need right now in our midfield? How will you set up our midfield 3? Leave me all your opinions in the comment section below. Comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Blaugranas.